Hey, what's up guys? J-Wink is here. So yeah, last night I saw the, probably the, one of the most highest anticipated superhero movies in a long time, for this year anyways, at least I know, and that was Spider-Man Homecoming. Now, this has been that a lot of people have been waiting for a really long time, is for Spider-Man to be at home in the MCU. And how was it? It was pretty freaking awesome. I really did love this movie. It was very funny, very just. I thought it was full of heart. A lot of good action, great performances. I think Tom Holland definitely proves that he is Spider-Man. I think he is the best iteration. He takes both the best parts of both of the previous Spider-Man. And yeah, it was just a really awesome just take on the character, and I'm glad that Marvel finally got the rights and they got to do what they wanted with the character. And I think that they chose a lot of good things, and I really cannot find a lot of things that I can really pick apart with this movie, just little nitpicks, but I'll get to them later at the end, towards the end of the review. And this will be a non-spoiler review. I'm going to go see it again on Sunday, and I will have a friend with me, and we are actually going to do a spoiler review after that. So yeah, so let's just start it out. This movie is the first, kind of like an origin story in a way, but it's not a typical origin story. It's a very coming of age story. You really see that in this movie. And it's really showing the origins of kind of Spider-Man in a way, without having to go through the spider bite and the death of Uncle Ben and the great power comes with great responsibility and all that stuff. But it was definitely a very good fresh take on Spider-Man, something very well needed after the past 5 movies, even though some of them have been, the first 2 were good, Spider-Man 3 was meh, Amazing Spider-Man was okay, Amazing Spider-Man didn't do too well, but I did kind of appreciate it. But yeah, this movie really, I think, gives fans of who are huge comic book fans, Spider-Man fans, and just Marvel Cinematic Universe fans, and I think just movie-going fans in general, this is an awesome movie for anybody to go see. You might be a little bit confused if you haven't seen some of the MCU movies. I'm not entirely sure, but it's definitely, it won't take away anything if you haven't, but if you have seen it, it probably would help a little bit more for different things. But this movie was really cool, really awesome, and so let's talk about some of the things that I liked. I did like the story. This is a real, like I said earlier, it was a coming of age story because it's really showing how Spider-Man has to deal with everything after Civil War. After he fought all the Avengers, and he has to go back to Brooklyn. No, Queens, sorry. I'm thinking about Cap here. But, Queens, and it's just like, what can he do, so he really has to find different things to do, and it's really cool because he doesn't know what to do, and it's an interesting different take on Spider-Man because we haven't really seen a Spider-Man like that before. He's always been handling odd jobs here and there, stopping crime, but in this movie there really isn't any crimes happening, and there's a lot of good funny moments in the beginning, and I really did like that. So yeah, it was very cool seeing that. It was a very different Spider-Man, which was very well needed in the first start of a trilogy. Another thing I really did like was the villain. Michael Keaton as Adrian Toomes as the Vulture was fantastic. I really was intimidated by this guy, and I really did love seeing Michael Keaton on the screen playing this character. And later on in the film, there's a big twist involving him. And it's really, I did not see that coming at all, and it was amazing to see, and it really shocked me, and I think it shocked everybody in the theater, because when it happened, everybody was like, oh, and I'm sure when you guys see the movie and I watched this review before, I'm sure you guys are going to know what I'm talking about then. But yeah, it was really good twist. He just was very intimidating and you understood his motivations for being a villain, and I really did like that. And I think joins a lot of the bigger phase, the Marvel villains. I think phase 3, they've really stepped it up for villains, and I think him so far, him and Ego are probably the 2 best villains I think so far, with a lot of character motivation and just pretty awesome because they're played by 2 legends. So But yeah, it was very cool to see that. I really did like kind of everything that Peter had to go through throughout this movie. Like how he had to deal with the school stuff and how he wanted to impress Mr. Stark, but you know, he also had to deal with other things going on, like with the Vulture and everything. And it really was showing like how he can't, you know, how he's got to like do certain things, you know, what he feels is right and all that. And it really is an awesome Spider-Man story because you haven't seen something like this before. I know I've been saying that a lot, but and I think it really did focus on the school element, which was good, which was amazing, because those were some of the funniest parts. And it really does make you feel like, you know, Peter Parker is a teenager in school. Because Tom Holland, he looks kind of like a teenager. He looks kind of younger. And it's very cool, because we haven't really had an iteration like that. Because Toby, he was in it for one movie, and then he was in college for a little bit. We saw bits and pieces. Andrew Garfield, he was in it for one movie, and then that was it. And he was like a pretty cool guy. But in this movie, it's very, you know, different, and it was more in school based. And I know, because now he's a sophomore. In the next movies, he will be a junior and senior for the trilogy to end. So, but yeah, it was very cool. I did like certain characters. I liked Zendaya. She was alright. She didn't really have... she wasn't there. She had good comedic parts, but there wasn't really anything more than that. Flash Thompson, I was really kind of hesitant about, but when I saw the performance that the guy made and how they portrayed Flash Thompson in this movie, it really shows that this is somebody that is messing with Peter on the school level, on a social level, and it's very different take, and I did like it very much. And it's very up with the times, I think, now. And Ned Leeds, I think he was good. He had some funny moments. I didn't think it was too annoying when he kept like asking him certain things. And I'm sure if you guys have seen the trailers, you guys know. So I'm gonna he just keeps asking about Spider-Man and stuff like that. And I think it's like, okay, man, you can step it down. It wasn't too annoying, but you know, yeah, and I really did love the moment, and I'm pretty sure you guys all know from the trailers, and I please recommend, do not try and watch the trailers before. Some moments, some big moments, I think one of the biggest ones in this movie is with him and Tony Stark on the ferry. I really did love that moment, and especially it really had an impact on Peter in the last half of the film, like in the final act, and I really did like that, and I really did like seeing how, you know, because, you know, he takes the suit away and how he has to go back to his old roots. And, you know, I really did like that because it shows kind of how Peter Parker, he is smarter, you know, he doesn't, and it shows, you know, he doesn't need the suit. And it was kind of another thing of like Iron Man, because like in Iron Man 3, there was the question, does the man make the suit or does the suit make the man? You know, and so it was very cool for that. And make sure you guys stay for the post-credit scenes because there are two. The first one is very cool. It's kind of setting some things up, not too much though. And the second one is hilarious. You guys have got to stay for that. It's probably one of the best ones. And yeah, I really did like a lot of things about this movie. Another thing, a lot of people, I've heard a lot of people saying as well, like Iron Man is gonna be all in this movie. He really isn't. He's in it for a very minimal amount of time, and when he is, it's good enough. And so yeah. Some things I didn't like was there wasn't a whole lot of memorable music, I think. And like I said, nitpicking. I did like the theme, though, at the beginning of the movie. When it was rolling through the Marvel thing, that was cool because it was the old Spider-Man theme from the TV show. And other things, trying to think here. And it kind of breaks the MCU timeline a little bit. But like I said, that's just nitpicking. It doesn't... I don't think some people might care, but I kind of care a little bit, but I can, you know, put that aside and just enjoy the movie for what it is because it really is an awesome movie, and there really isn't a whole lot of things that I didn't like about it. I've pretty much loved everything that was happened. Like I said, I'm going to go see it again on Sunday, so maybe then I can find certain things, but yeah. I'm definitely going to give this movie probably 5 out of 5 winks. It definitely deserves it. This was an awesome movie, very fun. And if you're a big fan of Spider-Man or Marvel or just movies in general, go see this movie. So yeah, guys, I think that's about it. And I'm Jay Wick, and I'm wicked out!